I made a mental note when I was here 20 years ago that I would never tell people how wonderful it was, because it was like living in hell, really. It was the ashram from hell. There were no toilets at all. A lot of us were sick. There were only, a handful of Western devotees here, maybe 10, 20 at the most, at any time. And, but there were no toilets. We were very often sick. Most of us lost somewhere between 50 or 60 pounds at times we were staying here. You know, when I walked through the gates last week, I had no idea where I was. I recognized nothing, including the mandir, because all the architectural ornament on the mandir is brand new. When I was here, there was a simple white building, a little square of one-story buildings around, and a few other low one-story buildings in front of the mandir. And that was it, basically. And the village was you had to sort of drive across a dirt hump to get in here. No main road in or anything like that. It was sort of felt like the end of the earth. I'd heard about him in Europe, and I didn't want a guru, an Indian guru. I would have given anything not to come to India. I had no desire to come here, and no desire to have a guru. I thought it'd be a terrifically embarrassing thing for any intelligent person to do. But I heard about some of the things he did, and I was fascinated, absolutely fascinated intellectually, as to whether these things were possible. So I set out alone overland. I had very little money. I was young, and it took me months to get here. And when I finally got here, all I had was the name of the village. And I went to the survey office in Delhi. They said that this village didn't exist, so I didn't know what to do. Then I got sort of tired of India, went down to Ceylon, and as I got on the boat to Ceylon, there was a fellow standing on the boat who just stopped me in my tracks. And I couldn't figure out why, and I was so embarrassed. I didn't want to go up to a stranger and say, like, why are you? He was sort of glowing. And I stared at him the whole time and was embarrassed to say anything, and I finally got off the boat in Ceylon, and he went away. And I just kept wondering, what in God's name was that? And about a couple weeks later, I was down in the village, and a little village man came up to me, and he said, why stay in a hotel? Come stay in my house. You'll have a lot more fun. I said, okay. And so he took me off to his house in this little village in southern Ceylon, and as he walked in to his house, this man I'd seen on the boat was sitting there. So I figured, well, I can't make the same mistake twice. So I said to this guy, I said, what in God's name? Why are you glowing? And he said, I've just seen a man who changed my life. And I said, oh, shit, who is it? And he goes, Satya Sai Baba. And I said, okay, that's who I came to see, but I couldn't find him. So he drew me a little map, and I just got up the next day and came here. Wow. Well, he's like my #1 favorite person in the world. To me, he's a model of what we are. That's it. I mean, what we are. We just don't quite realize it as fully as he does. And I don't see him as something totally separate from the rest of us. I just see him as us fully evolved. I look around at all the people who seem to be ecstatically in love with the physical form, and maybe I'm a little bit envious, not very much, and it just doesn't, I don't feel that way. I absolutely don't feel that way. And at the same time, from the experiences that one has around him, you can't be around him without being affected. In fact, I think once you're sort of infected by him, you can't be away from him and not be affected in some way. And I know that this is just basically a very huge turning point in my life, internally,